This guy joined the show this morning. I led off the show by asking him if he thinks he should be the president of the United States. And he said, no, I don't think enough people like me for that to happen. And he mentioned his wife probably not being a fan of that. And he ended his appearance with this speech that everybody on the internet is saying, this guy's going to be president of the United States. So I don't want to say that I Simpsonsed it, but I kind of Simpsonsed it. I predicted what was going to happen. And he gave this 2.5-minute speech to the world when I said, hey, people are going through a little bit of a time here. Some people are very worried about the future and things like that. You'll see. This is a good one from Coach PJ Fleck. I can't wait to hear your take on this, AJ. Last time I had you come on, I asked you to explain what elite meant and why it was such an important thing. That led into one of the most motivational speeches I've heard in my entire life. I still play it sometimes in the morning
you do look
while
trim
I'm
in
taking
that
a dump
shirt,
if I
Pat.
can't get up and get energized. Thank you. I just want to let you know that. Still, you and I wake up together sometimes. So, in the world that we're in right now, what is a message that you would send to somebody who's like, hey, there's people that are out of work right now. There's people that are struggling to get by. What is a good way or a good mindset for those people to have looking forward on how the other side of this will probably be bigger than the situation that we're going through right now?
Yeah, I think one of the big things is looking at it through the eyes of there are no problems in this world, only situations. Everybody somehow, some way in this world is being affected by this. Now, there's some people that are being affected more than others, whether that's through the virus or through financial part or through their health or their family. But everybody is being affected by this. Everybody understands this, and everybody's going through it together. But there are no problems. There's only situations. And from a situation creates opportunity. So for us, it's about how we're going to be able to respond to this. How are we going to be able to get back to this norm? And everybody wants to keep chasing this norm. When's normal coming back? I got news for you. Normal's not coming back. Whatever your view of normal is, it's not coming back. There are going to be ways and things that we implement that becomes the new norm. But if you're afraid of that, who says the new norm can't be better? Why can't our world be better? Why can't our nation be better? Why can't we continue to grow? Why can't we be intentional with our intentions to make this a better world after we get through this? Who's to say it's got to be worse? Who's to say the economy's got to go back? We all have a role in this. And we can all row the boat together, and we can all take our problems, look at them as situations, and create these opportunities that make this world better. But here's the one thing. We all affect this. Every single one of us have an impact of how we actually change the future of this nation. When has that ever happened?
Never.
I mean, maybe the revolution.
Spanish flu, maybe.
The Civil War. But other than that, like, when have we had an opportunity where all of us have a chance to actually move forward together and make this nation better? And I think we can do that if we do it together.
Let's go! Are you rowing, AJ? Are you?
I've been a PJ guy forever. I love PJ.
Are you rowing, AJ?
No, I'm not physically rowing to nowhere into your telestrator that costs $500K that you never use. No, I'm not. But I love PJ. I think it's great. PJ is a motivational speaker. He gives talks like that to his team every single day.
That guy's awesome, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that's PJ 24 hours a day. He's never not that guy.
I don't think that guy would work in the NFL, but I'm happy that guy's in college. And if I was to send my kid to a college football program, I would be happy if PJ Fleck was the guy out there leading him onto the field daily.
See, I don't know. I think PJ may be able to find a way to work in the NFL if he decides to go that route someday. I mean, Pete Carroll, do people think Pete Carroll was going to work in the NFL? He has Pete's super positive, always bubbly, bouncing around where some people may think it gets corny or it gets old, but Pete seems to be very, very successful in the NFL, and he can get his message across to these players. So why can't PJ? PJ is great at, I think, evolving and trying not to become stale to his players. He's talked about that. Like he can't just keep drilling the same things over and over. So I think he's always seeking different ways on how to get through and get his message to these guys.
That's smart. I think so too. I think he is smart enough that he'd be able to figure it out, to be honest. I do. You kind of convinced me actually of that, because I think he would be, now granted, remember, he has a background in being an elementary school history teacher, I think, or something like that. Or
he was in the league for a little bit. He played receiver for a little.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, look him up. Wikipedia him.
It's like 1 or 2 years, I think, with the 49ers.
Was he practice squad or did he get some game time?
I don't know, but I believe he was like a intern or a coach too for maybe the Niners, wherever team he was. I think he spent some time coaching in the league too.
He coached the Bucks wide receivers in 2012. I was reading on Wikipedia.
He was on the Niners.
Said he used to run the routes in practice with like shoes on against DBs.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was almost a bear. He failed his physical. Bear.
Well,
He
passed for the Niners.
He registered a tackle and returned 1 punt for 10 yards on special teams.
Oh, just do it all guy. Classic. Lunch pail guy. First one in, last one out. Coach's
Rust Belt guy.
Rust Belt guy. I like PJ. Every time he comes on our show, the first time I had him on, I had no idea what to expect. And I actually told him that, like on air. I was like, I've heard some people, they don't love you. Some people do. Because I'm just reading what people are saying about him and things like that. In that first conversation I had with him, I was like, I love this man. I am he's just a guy that I think is infectious. You know what I mean? I think he's infectious. That was a great motivational speech and very presidential. Might I add, like I said at the beginning of the show. What's up, Dave?
I have a question for you two. Now with like the younger generation and the different generational players coming in, like we have veterans come in and say it's a completely different type of human being. Do you think coaches like PJ Fleck who are like that have a better chance in the NFL or no?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think so. I think just because not even the fact that like the generational thing, maybe where players' attention span, all this stuff. I mean, guys are still like the guys that want to be there, but they just have to go about it different ways. Whether you never have a meeting longer than 30 minutes without giving your guys a break. I know different teams do all kinds of little tricks here and there to keep their guys' attention. But I think a guy like PJ has a chance in the NFL just because he's willing to evolve. He's willing to change to try to win. Like he's not stuck in his ways, I don't think, where he's like, this is it. This is what we do. This is my offense. This is my defense. This is how we do it. And then if somebody asks the question, well, why do we do it that way, coach? Because that's the way I've always done it, which is the worst answer ever
of
to that
all
question.
Time. Do you think becoming an NFL coach is his dream? Is that all coaches' dreams if they're in football? Or are they, like Saban, I think, his dream maybe been to be an NFL coach and he found out he stunk at it and he comes back to college and dominates it. Does every coach want to become an NFL coach? I wonder that on a very
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it may become PJ's dream eventually. I don't think it is right now. But it depends what your goals are. Like they all want to win, but PJ seems like the kind of guy that wants to impact these young kids. And I'm sure he says that, but you can have a huge impact on these guys' lives. An NFL coach can't have nearly the impact on an NFL player as you can a college kid. Like, think about like the loyalty some people feel towards their college program, their college coaches.
True. I mean, colleges fan bases are just much more cult-like.